The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour and it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today, where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Vansler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Vansler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his larkin on top of his store. He lurks in his larkin cold under the roof where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He will tell you perhaps if you are willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you have paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snoove, his secret strange hole in his grovelous glove. Then he grunts, I will call by. Whisper my phone, for the secret I tell are for your ears alone. Slop down slops the whisper phone to your ear, and the old Vansler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a synergily hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish wheeze up his nose. Now I will tell you, he says with his teeth sounding grey, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the trefoil trees. The bright colored tops of the trefoil trees, miles after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloons frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate trefoil fruits. From the rippulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those trefoil trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a trefoil tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gaw jump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was short of a man. Describe him, that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mosey, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, He said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongue. And I am asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you have made out of my trefoil tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there is no cause of alarm. I chopped just one tree. I am doing no harm. I am being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers, for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool thread. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along and he thought that the thread I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy, you never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I am busy. I told him, shut up if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts. And I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Wansler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to Northnitch. Turn left, up Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all in the factory I built, the whole Wansler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting threads, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of trefoil trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how many business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 trefoil trees at one smacker. We were making threads 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I am the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barba lutes who played in the shade in their barba lute suits and happily lived eating trefoil fruits. Now thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there is not enough trefoil fruits to go round, and my poor barba lutes are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They will have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Wansler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business and business must grow, regardless the crummies in tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads. Of the threads I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more threads, and I biggered my money which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipe when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snarled, he sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a querulous croak. Onceler, you are making such a smuggless smoke. My poor Swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smoke in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I am sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smoke. You have smoked up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. Let me say a few words about glupty-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making a glupty-glup and sloppty-slop. And what do you do with his leftover goo? I will show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You are glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They will walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I am telling you I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I am figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more trefoil trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud wake. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last trefoil tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggled stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. I will never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I have sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I have worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you are here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better, it's not. So catch, calls the Onceler, he lets something fall. It's a trefoil seed, it's the last one of all. You are in charge of the last of the trefoil seeds, and the trefoil trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new trefoil, treat it with care, give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. The end.